Now, if you take a look at the group step function creation, so you can work alone or you can work up to a group of 4, but everybody needs to fill out their own paper. You need to create a story that's represented by a step function. If you were, say you were driving a car and your car had an 11-gallon gas tank and it burned 3 gallons of gas per hour, would that be a step function? No, because you're going to burn a little bit all the time. But if you were, say, loading watermelons on a truck, that would be a step function. So you need to pick a story that models a step function, and really the only rules are you're not allowed to go up by 1 every hour or something like that. Your slope can't be 1. That makes it too easy. Also, your y-intercept cannot be 0. Okay? So your slope has to be any number other than 1, and your y-intercept has to be anything other than 0, and your story needs to be able to differentiate between x's of length 1 or y's of length 1. For instance, let's say that I was loading my backpack full of books. If I put two books in the backpack every minute, well, that'd be a big whatever. We'll just assume it's an infinitely large backpack. But if I were to put 2 in every minute at the same time, then my x's would be length 1. But if I were to put 1 in every 30 seconds, then that would still be 2 per minute, but now my y values would be length 1. Does that make sense? So the first one, let's say I started with 2 books already. So I already have 2 books. A minute later, I put 2 more books in. And then a minute later, I put 2 more books in. Would this be, so that's the graph of 2x plus 2, where would I put the brackets? So this is 1, 2, 3. Do my y values have length 1 or do my x values have length 1? My x values have length 1, so the brackets would go right here. If I switched and put the brackets on the outside, how would that change the graph? Well, it's still going to follow this line, but how would it change? They'd be shorter. So I'd go halfway on each step. And now you see that my y values step up by 1, and my x values are no longer 1. So that's the difference between brackets on the outside and brackets on the inside. So once you write your story, you need to fill out a table, and you don't have to use the entire table. I just gave you enough that you could do what you wanted. Draw your graph, and then write your function with the appropriate brackets, and then graph it in your calculator to verify that your graph and the graph of the function you write match. Okay? All right, get to work.